lovelies. Okay, hey lovelies, how's it going? Hope all is well. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with a new video, and this topic is about education. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I honestly feel like this generation of kids are not learning at the same capacities that we were learning when I was in school, when my mom was in school, when my mom's mom was in school. I really feel like they're dumbing down education, and they're doing this in a way so that the kids can pass, but it's really hindering the child. And the reason why I feel like it's hindering the child, I guess I'll elaborate on that after I read the article. Now, I can say this, a lot of blogs that picked up this article, they did misread. Some people were saying that they were changing the kids' grading scale to a 15-point grading scale, when in reality, they're changing the school performance report card in a 15-point grading scale. Now, I gotta tell you guys this, schools get report cards just like students get report cards. The school report card, dang, I feel like I'm back in school. The school report card basically tells the performance of the administrators. It tells the performance of the teachers. So with this school report card, basically is ran off of test scores. Now, I do think the grading skills are messing up the test scores. Right now, at this point, they're on a 10-point scale in majority of the states. Now, if you guys know the 10-point scale, a 90 through 100 is considered an A. Not too long ago, I believe in 2015, 2016, the grading scale changed to the 10-point, but before then, it was a 7-point scale. So a 93 through 100 was considered an A. A 92 and a 91 would have been a B, okay? So they decided to change that in 2015, 2016. I can't say if I'm sure or not, but I was reading a lot of articles and I seen that they were saying school grading scale and not necessarily the students, but every other post that I read, they said the students grading point scale changed. And if that is true, then they are wrong for that. So I want to tell you guys the bill and what they want to change it to. So they said the state has been using a 15-point grading scale to grade schools for several years. But the scale is set to revert back to the 10-point scale at the end of the school if no action is taken. The House Bill 145 would ensure the current scale remains in place. 100 to 85% is an A. 84 to 70% is a B. 69 to 55% is a C, 54 to 40% is a D, and the F is 40% and below. When this all got out, because everybody is confused, like with all the articles, they're confused if they're changing the student's report card and their grading scale, or if they're changing the school's report card and grading scale, because nobody really know. But everybody really believes that they're trying to change the student's grading scale, and it really caused a lot of people to get angry. Like, a lot of people were getting upset. Maybe I need to get a new Twitter, because I got on Twitter and, you know, a lot of, like, the host of the NFL show on DirecTV, he said, instead of lowering our expectations for our education system, we should be raising our standards for our students so that they can compete in the 21st century global economy. Okay? Then someone else says, North Carolina wants to give their kid an A with an 85. Embarrassing. All of this is, you know, it's really, really crazy. They decide to change the grading scale for students, and even if they want to change the grading scale for the school alone, if they change that, it really, really makes the school system look like they don't know how to teach a kid, and they don't know how to get the kid to understand. I really feel like people have to start adjusting to the times. We have teachers that have been teachers for 25, 30 years, and they don't want to adjust to the new styles and the new age. Like, if the students are adapting to the laptops and the computers and stuff like that, even though our school system, we don't get a lot of funding, we don't have a lot of resources. Like, some schools don't even have books. I worked in Title I schools that didn't even have books. They had to go to the library to use books, or even if they wanted to use a laptop, like, by hall, the hall shared laptops in the classroom. So at one period, this class will have a laptop, this class will have a laptop, and things of that sort. So with that being said, you know, I just really feel like the state well, the government, they need to spend more money in education so that these kids can really learn how they would learn at home. The computer is where it's at. The laptops is where it's at. If the laptops is helping them, if y'all need games to help them understand that that's what they need to do. The capacity of a child is not the same as us. They can't sit down in one setting, anymore. They can't stand there and just, study. You have to find different ways to engage a child. And until the teachers learn how to do that and education understands that, then they're going to keep letting these kids get dumber and dumber. And I hate to say that, but they are. Like, they'll pass through high school, but they're going to have a hard time getting to college. Because if they're not changing, if they keep changing the grading scales, then how are they going to pass these tests? How are they going to get great scores on the SAT? How can they get good scores on the ACT when they're in school and they're thinking that an 85 is an A? So if you're thinking this unsatisfactory work, because when I was in school, an 85 was like, what, a C? Like an 84 was a C and an 85 was a B minus. So if you're thinking that you're doing good work and you start taking the tests and you start taking all these GRE tests and you're taking the ASVAB, you taking different type of tests, and you're not understanding that you really don't grasp the work that you have been learning. You really don't know. And these kids are just not even these teacher, administrators are just passing these kids just because they don't want them left behind. I was reading an article about the no zero policy, and the teacher actually got fired because she gave her students zeros for not completing their work. And in their school system, they have a no zero policy in which you have to give the student a 60 or above on an assignment. You cannot put zeros in. I think that's dumb as well. Like, that's ridiculous. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Like, we really have to stop. And educators, like, for real, it's not necessarily the teachers. A lot of the time it's the administration that don't want to back their teachers up, because the parents come down there, like, the parents come arguing and stuff like that. Why my kid fell, why my kid do this, when their child is skipping classes, their child is, wandering the halls, their child is not doing their homework. And me as a school counselor, I look at the student, it's like a whole wraparound thing. I look at the student and I'm asking the student and I'm wondering, why are you skipping classes? Why aren't you turning in this assignment? Why aren't you doing that? And as a counselor, I'm thinking, what is wrong with the instruction? Are they actually learning, or are they too advanced on this? Sometimes you have kids that like to skip, they like to play around and stuff like that, and they could be the smartest kid in the school. And maybe they're in the classroom setting where the school assignments and the work is too easy for them. But instead of being there and doing the work, they'd rather just walk around the school. They'd rather lash out. They'd rather, be the funny person and be the class clown and stuff like that than telling their teacher that this work is not, advanced enough for them. Then you have those students in the classes that's not doing the work because they don't know how to read. They don't understand the English. They don't understand the math. They don't understand the social studies. They don't understand the assignment. But they're in the class with a group of people that are way more advanced than them. So they'd rather not do the work because it's too advanced for them, but they don't know how to open their mouth and say anything. So, like I said, it's all a wraparound. When you have a child like that, you have to see how your child needs to learn. Everybody is visual learners these days. Everybody is visual and everybody hands-on learners. So you have to adjust as a teacher, as an administrator, you got to adjust to knowing your students' learning styles. And when you're in that classroom, we have these big classrooms because we're talking about public schools. You got a classroom of 25, 30 kids. If you have that classroom, you have all these different learning styles, then you need to teach a lesson with those different learning styles in order for all the kids to learn at once. And teachers really need to start testing the kids in the schools. Everybody needs to test the kids in the schools because there's a lot of students that learn at different levels, and they're because of these zero policies and all this other stuff, Target 2021, like these programs in which they making kids, no left behind, gradually go on. You don't know if they know the stuff or they don't. So you have to, understand your child. You got to get to know your child, because honestly, Changing the grading scale is not helping them at all. Changing the grading scale is not helping anyone. Like, it's really not, because you're gonna have a child that's probably gonna get all these B's, and what a B now with the grading scale, they're saying a B is a 70. That's a D. A B would be considered a 70 to 84. Y'all, that is a D. Period. Like, if a child is going through life thinking that a 70 is a B, just think they will honestly believe that they are actually learning something that they're not. They're not learning it. So I don't know. I think the whole grading scale is stupid. Like, we are really messing up our kids. Like, we're messing up our kids so bad. And I honestly believe that it's a bunch of laziness. It got to a point where the education system is just looking bad because they don't know how to help these kids. And to be honest, like, they really need to go, these administrators and these like higher ups and stuff, they don't like to go into the schools. Y'all need to go into the schools and see what type of students y'all have. If y'all see the type of students y'all have, I know I was at a Title I school and those kids were far from dumb. Far from it. The material that they were learning at was not advanced enough for them. And they just did not like the material. They didn't care for it. Like, so you just have to adapt to the child. They have the computer, they have the YouTube, they have all these different things that they can learn stuff on their own. Incorporate some of that stuff in their assignments. Like, I don't understand why we're not using what kids have. Like, y'all, they got them PlayStations, they be on Fortnite, they be on all this stuff. Use some of that stuff in your lesson plans, and then maybe, just maybe, it will grasp their attention a little more for them to learn. I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all feel down below. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Can we stay home tonight? Try something new tonight. Hey, this drink got me feeling right.